Welcome to Sci-Fi Space. Before we starting today's wonderful story, take a second to check if you've subscribed. Because it's completely free and it is a huge motivation for us to create more great stories. Zeith Bar stood in the central chamber of the Advanced Galactic Coalition's headquarters on Nexus, his gaze locked on the massive holographic star map dominating the room. The display pulsed with data, a testament to the AGC's relentless mission to chart the known universe. At 98% mapped, it was a marvel of precision except for one glaring void. A sprawling region, 15,000 light-years wide, sat unmarked save for a single label, Restricted Zone, Human Territorial Space. To Zeith, a veteran cartographer with decades of experience, that blank spot wasn't just an anomaly, it was an insult. He crossed his arms, his frustration simmering. The AGC prided itself on transparency, on leaving no corner of the galaxy uncharted. Yet here was a chunk of space, bigger than some empires, shrouded in silence. Zeith had spent his career chasing answers, mapping asteroid fields and nebulae others deemed too dangerous. This wasn't about pride, it was about principle. Why did the humans get a pass when no one else did? He turned to Director Kaliavorn, the three-eyed Threon who oversaw the cartography division. Her eyes glowed faintly, shifting colors as she processed his question before he even asked it. Director, Zeith began, his voice steady but edged with impatience, 19 ships in 60 cycles. All sent toward human space. None came back with usable data. Some didn't come back at all. What's going on? Kalia's middle eye narrowed, a sign of irritation in her species. The humans have sovereignty, Zeith. You know that. The coalition respects their boundaries. With respect, that's not how we operate, he shot back. The AGC maps everything. The Clytherans let us chart their sacred systems despite their rituals. The Vornax Union demanded escorts but still allowed it. Only the humans say no, and we just accept it. Kalia's voice dropped, low and gravelly. The Galactic Accord grants them an exemption. It's not our place to question. Then whose place is it? Zeith pressed. 19 ships, Director. 7 vanished without a trace. 9 returned with scrambled sensors and gibberish logs. 3 came back with crews so traumatized they couldn't speak. That's not sovereignty, that's a cover-up. Kalia turned away, her long fingers tapping the console. This discussion is over, cartographer. But Zeith wasn't done. He couldn't let it go, not when the numbers didn't add up. Not when his instincts screamed that something was wrong. After his shift, he slipped into a restricted archive terminal, bypassing security with a trick he'd learned from a rogue data miner years ago. The files he found were old, buried under layers of encryption, but they painted a picture that made his blood run cold. 350 years ago, before humans joined the galactic stage, that region wasn't a void. It was a treasure trove, lush planets, mineral-rich moons, systems teeming with potential. Exploration logs described it as a cosmic Eden. Then, abruptly, the report stopped. Ships started malfunctioning. Navigators logged impossible coordinates. And then the humans appeared, primitives with crude rockets who somehow claimed that entire spiral arm in under a century. Now, it was a no-go zone, and the AGC pretended it didn't matter. Zeith leaned back, his mind racing. The humans weren't just hiding their territory, they were hiding something in it. Or from it. He couldn't shake the numbers, 19 ships, all compromised, all linked to that blank spot. The AGC's silence wasn't respect, it was fear. He pulled up the last intact log from a ship that had grazed human space 80 cycles ago. The data was patchy, But one line stood out: energy readings inconsistent with known physics. Spatial distortions detected. The ship had limped back with half its crew incoherent, babbling about lights that moved wrong. The official report blamed a solar flare. Zeith didn't buy it. Kalia knew more than she let on, he was sure of it. Her dodge wasn't just bureaucratic, it was personal. She'd been director long enough to have overseen some of those failed missions herself. Had she sent those crews to their doom? Or was she protecting them from something worse? Zeith shut down the terminal, his decision made. He couldn't trust the AGC to give him answers. They'd had 60 cycles and done nothing. If he wanted the truth, he'd have to find it himself. The humans might have scared off the coalition, but Zeith Bar didn't scare easy. He'd need a ship, a crew, and a plan. The restricted zone was calling, and he wasn't about to ignore it. Zeith Bar knew he couldn't pull this off alone. The restricted zone was too big, too dangerous, and too unknown for a solo run. He needed a team, small, sharp, and willing to break a few rules. It took him 3 weeks of backroom deals and late-night calls to line up the right people. The advanced Galactic coalition wouldn't approve this, so he'd have to keep it off the books. By the time he was done, he had a crew of 4, a ship, and a shaky plan. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to start. First up was Jaxon Reed, a propulsion engineer with a chip on his shoulder and a knack for bending tech to his will. Half his body was cybernetic, shiny circuits woven into grayish skin, after a lab accident he never talked about. Zeith found him in a dingy repair bay on Nexus's lower levels, elbow deep in a thruster core. "I need a ship that can dodge AGC scanners," Zeith said, cutting to the chase. Jaxon smirked, wiping grease off his metal hand. "You're asking me to break about 6 laws. What's in it for me?" Zeith offered credits and a chance to test his skills on something bigger than junk freighters. Jaxon signed on, but his cocky attitude grated from the jump. Next was Myra Solon, a Naviri anthropologist with feathers that shimmered blue when she got mad, which was often. She specialized in new species, and Zeith figured she could decode whatever the humans were hiding. He tracked her down at a university lecture hall, where she was tearing into a student's bad theory. "I'm going into human space," Zeith told her. "I need someone who can think beyond the obvious." Myra's crest flared. "You're insane. They've got exemptions for a reason." But when he showed her the old logs, planets gone dark, crews lost, she relented. She didn't trust him, though, and made that clear every chance she got. Last was Torin Blaze, a security grunt with a temper and a past. He'd fought in the Fringe Wars, left with scars across his face and a habit of punching first. Zeith met him in a bar, buying him a drink to soften the pitch. "I need muscle," Zeith said. "Something's off in human territory, and I don't know what we'll hit." Torin grinned, cracking his knuckles. "If there's a fight, I'm in. Just don't expect me to play nice." Zeith didn't. Nice wasn't the point. The ship was the Astral Seeker, a decommissioned survey vessel Zeith pulled strings to borrow. It was fast, quiet, and small enough to slip past patrols, if Jaxon could tweak it right. They met in a hangar bay to prep it. Jaxon rigged the engines with a signal scrambler, bragging it'd make them a ghost on any scope. Myra ran diagnostics, muttering about reckless plans. Torin hauled in crates of gear, including a plasma cannon Zeith hadn't approved. That's where the trouble started. "We're not starting a war," Zeith snapped, eyeing the cannon. Torin squared up, his voice a growl. "You said it's dangerous out there. I'm not going in soft. Humans could be waiting to blast us. Myra jumped in, feathers bristling. You're a lunatic. Weapons escalate things. We're here for answers, not bodies. Torin shot back, answers don't mean squat if we're dead. Jaxon laughed from under the console. Let the big guy have his toy. I'll outrun anything they throw at us. Zeith stepped between them, hands up. Enough. No cannon. We're stealth, not assault. Torin, you're here to protect, not provoke. Myra, he's got a point, we don't know what's waiting. Jaxon, focus on the ship. Torin glared but backed off, tossing the crate aside with a clang. Myra huffed, crossing her arms. Jaxon just shrugged, like it was all a game. The tension didn't fade, it hung there, thick and sour. They spent 2 days finalizing the Astral Seeker. Jaxon's mods gave it a low profile, masking its signature from AGC trackers. Myra loaded data banks with every scrap of human intel she could dig up, sparse as it was. Torin ran drills, barking orders nobody followed. Zeith filed a fake mission log, survey of Cluster 7B, Outer Rim. It holed up long enough to get them clear of Nexus's monitoring stations. If Kalia Vorn caught wind of this, he'd be done, career over, maybe worse. Launch day came fast. The crew piled into the cockpit, still sniping at each other. Jaxon took the helm, Myra manned sensors, Torin loomed by the hatch. Zeith stood at the center, staring at the NAV screen as Nexus shrank behind them. Set course for the restricted zone, he said. Passive systems only once we're close. Jaxon grinned. Here's where the fun starts. Myra muttered, or the end. Torin just checked his sidearm. Zeith ignored them all. The humans had answers, and he'd drag them out, one way or another. The Astral Seeker slipped past the edge of AGC-controlled space, its modified engines humming low as Jaxon re-guided it toward the restricted zone. Zeith Bar stood at the command station, eyes fixed on the NAV screen. The boundary of human territory wasn't marked by beacons or patrols, just a sharp cut-off where the star chart went blank. Passive sensors only, he ordered. We're blind enough without tipping anyone off. Myra's Solon nodded, her feathered fingers tapping the console. Torin Blaze paced near the hatch, restless. Jaxon smirked. Relax, big guy. We're a shadow out here. For the first hour, it was quiet, too quiet. The view screen showed stars scattered across the void, nothing out of place. Zeith expected something, a warning signal, a border drone, anything to justify the restricted label. Instead, it was just space, cold and empty. This is weird, Myra said, her crest twitching. Most species stake their claim loud and clear. Humans don't even bother. Torin grunted. Maybe they're cocky. Or hiding something big. Zeith didn't answer. He didn't like the silence either. Then it started. 2 light years past the boundary, the ship jolted, not hard, but enough to rattle the deck. What the hell was that? Torin snapped, hand on his sidearm. Jaxon checked the readouts. Gravity spike. Nothing on scanners to cause it. Before anyone could respond, the lights flickered. Myra's console spat static, then flashed impossible numbers coordinates that looped backward. This isn't right, she said, voice tight. The quantum positioning's gone haywire. It says we're in 2 places at once. Zeith leaned over her shoulder. Can you fix it? She shook her head. It's not broken. Something's messing with space itself. The ship jolted again, harder this time. A mug slid off the table, hovering an inch above the floor before dropping. Jaxon cursed. That's not normal physics. I don't care what you say. Torin glared out the viewport. I told you we needed that cannon. Myra shot back, and do what? Shoot the damn gravity. The anomalies piled up fast. The chronometers started drifting, each one off by a few microseconds, then seconds, like time couldn't agree with itself. The view screen flickered, showing stars that blinked out, then reappeared in the wrong spots. Zeith's gut twisted. This wasn't a glitch. It was deliberate, or at least tied to something bigger than a busted sensor. Log everything, he said. We need data, even if it's nonsense. 3 hours in, Myra picked up a signal, a faint pulse from a small object orbiting a dead planet ahead. It's a station, she said, zooming the sensors. Human design. No weapons, no comms chatter. Just, sitting there. The structure was a squat, gray box, studded with arrays that didn't match any known tech. Zeith ordered a wide berth. Scan it, but keep us out of range. Myra worked fast, her eyes narrowing. These readings are wild. The arrays aren't for defense or signals. They are measuring something, spatial integrity, maybe. Jaxon snorted. Spatial integrity? What's that supposed to mean? Myra didn't look up. It's like they're tracking how stable reality is. Look at this, energy signatures that don't fit any cosmic model. It's not natural. Zeith studied the data. The numbers danced, defying logic, peaks where there should have been flat lines, dips that suggested matter folding in on itself. Could it be a shield? He asked. Myra hesitated. Maybe. Or a cage. Torin cut in, voice hard. If they're hiding something, we should hit that station. Crack it open and see what's inside. Myra spun on him. Are you stupid? We're not equipped for that. One wrong move, and we're toast. Torin stepped closer, towering over her. You're scared of shadows, bird. I say we take the fight to them. Zeith raised a hand. Stand down, both of you. We're here to learn, not start a war. Jaxon, can you compensate for the distortions? Jackson's metal fingers flew across the controls. Sort of. I can filter some of it, but this isn't random noise. It's like the space here's got rules we don't know. He grinned, half excited, half nervous. Gotta admit, it's kind of fun. Myra rolled her eyes. Fun until we're stuck in a paradox. They pushed deeper, the anomalies growing sharper. The ship's hull creaked under subtle pressure shifts. A low hum filled the air, not mechanical, but alive, like a pulse from the void. Myra's scans caught more stations, all identical, all silent, orbiting barren rocks. They are a network, she said. Monitoring something big. But what? Zeith didn't have an answer, but the pieces were stacking up. Humans weren't just sitting on this territory. They were guarding it. Or trapping it. Torin broke the silence. If this is a trap, we're already in it. No patrols, no warnings, just this freaky crap. They are playing with us. Jaxon laughed. Or they don't even know we're here? Zeith shook his head. They know. They are just not scared of us yet. He turned to the screen, the dead planet's station still in view. Keep moving. Whatever's out there, we're closed now. The astral seeker hadn't gone 5 light years deeper into human space when a sleek, angular ship slid out from behind a jagged asteroid. No warning, no signal, just there, its hull glinting like polished steel. Zeith Bar tensed at the command station. "Hold position," he said. "Passive sensors only." Jaxon Reed's hands froze on the controls, his smirk gone. "That's no scout. Look at the lines, military grade." Myra's Solin's feathers bristled as she scanned it. "No weapons hot, but it's tracking us." Torin Blaze gripped his sidearm, eyes narrow. "They are sizing us up." The human ship adjusted course, keeping distance but mirroring their path. Then the comms crackled, and a voice cut through, crisp, female, cold as ice. "Unidentified vessel, you're in restricted space. State your purpose, now." The view screen flickered, revealing a woman in a stark uniform, her dark hair pulled tight, her expression unreadable. Zeith stepped forward. "I'm Zeith Bar, Senior Cartographer, Advanced Galactic Coalition. We're conducting a survey. Your territory's a blank spot on our maps. We're here to fill it in." Her eyes didn't flicker. "I'm Commander Elena Hart, Earth Perimeter Force. The AGC knows this zone's off-limits per Galactic Accord 19C. You've got no jurisdiction here. Turn back." Zeith crossed his arms. 19 AGC ships lost or crippled near your borders in 60 cycles. We've logged distortions, gravity spikes, spatial glitches. That's a navigation hazard. The galaxy deserves to know why." Elena's tone stayed flat. "The Accord covers it. Your ship's got too close, that's all. Leave, or we'll escort you out." Torin snorted, loud enough to hear. "Escort us? I'd like to see 'em try." Myra hissed, "Shut up, Torin." Zeith ignored them, pushing harder. "Too close to what?" "We've seen your stations monitoring something you won't name." "I'm not leaving without answers." A beat of silence. Then Elena's ship fired a pulse, not a weapon, but a jolt that hit the Astral Seeker like a slap. Lights dimmed, systems stuttered, and Jaxon cursed as his console locked up. "They just fried our NAV. Bastards." Torin drew his sidearm, stepping toward the hatch. "That's it, I'm taking the fight to them." Zeith grabbed his arm. "Stand down. We're not shooting our way out." Torin yanked free, snarling. "They hit us first. You wanna talk while they pick us apart?" Myra jumped in, voice sharp. "You'll get us killed, you idiot. They're not even armed up, look at the scans." Jaxon, still wrestling the controls, snapped, "Doesn't matter, they've got tricks I can't counter. We're sitting ducks." Zeith raised his voice over the chaos. "Enough. Torin, holster it. Jaxon, get us stable. Myra, keep scanning. They're testing us, not killing us." The crews simmered down, but the air stayed thick with distrust. Elena's face reappeared on the screen. "That was a warning. Next one's not. Transmit your specs and crew list. Hold position." Zeith nodded to Myra, who sent the data reluctantly. The comms cut off, leaving them staring at the human ship, its engines glowing faintly. "She's not bluffing," Myra said. "They've got tech we don't understand, those arrays aren't standard." Jaxon muttered, "Yeah, and they just owned my ship. I'm pissed." Torin paced, fists clenched. "We should have hit back. They think we're weak now." Zeith shot him a look. "We're not here to prove anything. We're here for the truth." But privately, he wondered Elena's calm was unnerving. She didn't flinch at his questions, didn't care about their defiance. What were they sitting on that made them so damn sure? Hours dragged by, the human ship shadowing them silently. Then coordinates pinged on the console, a meeting point near a small outpost. Elena's voice returned. "Dock there. You want answers? You'll get them. But you won't like it." Zeith glanced at his crew. Myra frowned. "It's a trap." Torin smirked. "Good. I'm ready." Jaxon shrugged. "Beats waiting to get zapped again." Against his better judgment, Zeith agreed. "Take us in, Jaxon. Slow and steady." The outpost was a blunt, functional thing, metal plates and sensor spines, no flare. A docking arm extended, locking them in. 3 humans met them at the airlock: Elena, stone-faced, and 2 others, silent and watchful. "Welcome to the Edge," she said. "I'm with Earth Perimeter Force." "You're a problem, Zeith, but maybe an inevitable one." Zeith squared his shoulders. "What's Perimeter Force? What are you guarding?" Elena studied him, then dropped the bomb. "Ever hear of dimensional rifts? Tears between realities?" Zeith blinked. "Theory stuff, parallel universes, unstable boundaries. It's not real." She smirked, just a twitch. "It's real. 350 years ago, we found out the hard way. This spiral arm's a hotspot, rifts open, things come through. We stop them. That's why you're not welcome." Myra's crest flattened. "Things? What things?" Elena's eyes darkened. "Stuff that doesn't fit your physics or your nightmares. We're not hiding a secret. We're holding a line." Torin laughed, harsh and short. "You expect us to buy that? Sounds like a ghost story." Elena didn't flinch. "Stay long enough, you'll see it's not." Zeith's mind raced. Rifts? It fit the distortions, the lost ships. But it raised more questions than it answered. "Why the secrecy?" he demanded. "The AGC could help." Elena's voice hardened. "Last time we tried sharing, half the council lost their minds literally. You're not ready." "Nobody is." She paused, then added, "But you're here now. So buckle up." Commander Elena Hart didn't give Zeith Bar a choice. "You're in too deep," she said, her voice clipped. "Docks locked. You're coming with us." Before he could argue, a human transport ship, sleek, bristling with odd tech, latched onto the Astral Seeker. Zeith glanced at his crew. Myra's Solan's feathers flattened, her eyes wide. "This is bad," she whispered. Torin Blaze cracked his knuckles, grinning. "Finally, some action." Jaxon Reed just scowled, still sore about his ship. "They better not scratch my paint." Zeith nodded to Elena. "Lead the way." The transport moved fast, cutting through the void toward coordinates that made no sense on their scrambled navs. Elena's team suited up in gear that wasn't standard black suits laced with glowing circuits, helmets snapping shut with a hiss. "Reality stabilizers," she explained, catching Zeith's stare. "Keeps your brain from frying when things get weird." Jaxon raised an eyebrow. "Weird how?" Elena didn't answer, just pointed to the viewport. They arrived at a spot where space looked wrong. A rift 7 kilometers wide tore through the darkness, a swirling mess of light that bent into colors Zeith couldn't name. Shapes twisted inside it, angles that shouldn't exist, edges that seemed to bleed into nothing. A low, grinding noise seeped through the hull, like metal screaming. Myra stumbled back, clutching her head. "What the hell is that?" Torin's grin faded, his hand hovering over his sidearm. That's no ship. Jaxon stared, voice shaky. That's not even real. It's a dimensional rift, Elena said, calm as ever. Something's trying to cross over something that doesn't belong. We're here to shut it down. Human ships swarmed the area, dozens, maybe hundreds, forming a tight grid. They deployed massive devices, each the size of a small station, pulsing with energy. Reality anchors, Elena added. They force our rules back on whatever's breaking through. Zeith watched, jaw tight, as the anchors fired up. Beams linked them into a web, and the rift shrank, its impossible colors fading. For a split second, he saw the thing inside, vast and wrong, all jagged surfaces and limbs that flickered through space like a glitch. Then it was gone, the rift sealed. The humans moved with grim efficiency, packing up like it was routine. That's it? Zeith asked. Elena nodded. For now. We handle 800 of these a year, small fries to extinction level crap. Myra's voice broke. 800? How? Elena turned, her eyes hard. 350 years ago, we cracked faster than light travel. Found these rifts by accident, lost 20 million people before we figured it out. Now it's our job. She waved them into a briefing room on her command ship, pulling up old footage. Zeith's crew watched in silence as early human colonies twisted into nightmares, buildings melting, people warping into shapes that defied biology, reality itself unraveling. We lost 12 settlements, Elena said. Survivors begged to die rather than live with it. Jaxon leaned forward, fascinated despite himself. So you built this? The anchors, the suits. Elena nodded. Had to. Rifts cluster here, some old cosmic screw-up, maybe. We detect them, contain them, abandon zones if we have to. 60% of our resources, billions of us, keep this spiral arm from collapsing. Zeith's mind reeled. The whole restricted zone, it's a containment grid. Elena confirmed it with a curt, yep. Torin slammed a fist on the table. And you hid this? We could have helped. Elena's laugh was bitter. Tried that. Showed the Council a rift once 3 species went nuts, started holy wars. 2 tried to weaponize it. We're on our own because you can't handle it. Myra shook her head, voice trembling. No one should handle this. That thing, I can't unsee it. Her feathers drooped, her usual fire gone. The argument exploded. Torin rounded on her. You're weak. We should blast those rifts, end it. Myra snapped back, standing despite her shakes. You saw it, you moron. You can't fight that, it's not even alive. Torin grabbed her arm, snarling. Then what? Run? Let them deal. Zeith yanked him off. Back off, Torin. She's right, it's beyond us. Jaxon cut in, smirking. Speak for yourselves. I'd love to crack one open, see how it ticks. Elena watched the chaos, unimpressed. You're proving my point. You're not ready. Alarms blared, cutting them off. Her COMM buzzed. Commander, rift in Sector 9 Class 4, Big 1. She stood. You wanted the truth, Zeith? Come see it. They piled back into the transport, racing to the news site. This rift dwarfed the last 15 kilometers, pulsing with a sound like a dying star. Human crews were already in place, anchors straining as the tier spat out fragments, shimmering shards that dissolved metal on contact. Zeith saw a ship get too close, its hull warped, crew screaming over open comms before going silent. Elena barked orders, her team unfazed. Anchor 7S down reroute power. Push it back. Myra collapsed, sobbing. I can't do this. Torin, pale now, muttered, we're screwed. Jaxon stared, muttering equations under his breath. Zeith grabbed Elena's arm. How do you live with this? She shook him off. We don't have a choice. You do leave, or stay, and break. The anchors finally won, sealing the rift with a shudder. The crews sat in stunned silence as Elena's team cleaned up. She turned to Zeith. That's the truth, horrors we can't explain, a war we can't win, just hold. Your ships? They hit rifts, got lucky to limp back. We don't map it because you'd die trying. Zeith swallowed hard. And the galaxy? Elena's eyes softened, just a fraction. Safe, because we're here. That's all that matters. The astral seeker pulled away from human space, the crews silent as Commander Elena Hart's words echoed in their heads. Zeith Bar stood at the helm, staring at the NAV screen, the restricted zone shrinking behind them. Myra's Solon sat hunched, feathers dull, still shaken. Torin Blaze leaned against the wall, arms crossed, his bravado gone. Jaxon Reed tinkered with a panel, quieter than usual. They'd seen the unseeable rifts tearing reality, humans fighting a war no one else could. Now what? Back at Nexus, Zeith marched straight to Director Kalia Vorn's office, ignoring protocol. Her 3 eyes glowed as he burst in. You knew, he said, voice low and hard. The rifts, the humans you've known all along. Kalia didn't flinch. A few of us do, she admitted, her tone steady. The Council's top tier. We've seen what happens when others find out: panic, madness. The humans take the hits so we don't have to. Zeith slammed the desk. 19 ships, Kalia. Crews I knew lost or broken, and you let us stumble blind. Her middle eye narrowed. We didn't let you. You went anyway. What did you see? He told her: rifts, anchors, horrors beyond physics, humans sacrificing everything to hold the line. Kalia listened, then sighed. And you think the galaxy's ready for that? You're not, and you live it. He didn't argue. Myra's breakdown, Torin's silence, they weren't ready. Neither was he. But doing nothing felt wrong. We can't just ignore it, he said. Kalia's voice softened. We don't. We give them space, resources under the table. They've got it handled better than we ever could. Zeith left her office, mind churning. The crew met him in the hangar, faces grim. What's the play? Torin asked, voice rough. Myra looked up, eyes red. We tell everyone, right? They deserve to know. Jaxon snorted. And start a riot? Half the coalition would collapse. Zeith held up a hand. No. We don't spill it. We'd break more than we'd fix. But we don't sit idle either. He laid it out: they'd wipe the data, scrub the logs, and vow to steer AGC ships clear of human space. We protect them by keeping others out, he said. Quietly. No glory, no fuss. Myra nodded slowly. It's not fair, but it's right. Torin grunted. Fine. Long as I don't have to see that crap again. Jaxon shrugged. Works for me. Less competition for my tech. They burned the records that night, every scan, every clip of the rifts, leaving no trace. The next day, Zeith pushed a map update through: protected zone, spatial hazard, human oversight. No details, just a warning. Kalios signed off, no questions asked. It wasn't the full truth, but it was enough acknowledgement without exposure. The galaxy would stay safe, oblivious, thanks to humans they'd never thank. Zeith thought it was done. Then, a week later, he found Jaxon in the Astral Seeker's cargo bay, hunched over a sealed canister. "What's that?" Zeith asked, gut sinking. Jaxon grinned, tapping the glass. Inside, a shard of rift stuff shimmered wrong angles, shifting light. "Souvenir," he said. "Couldn't resist. Imagine what I could do with this." Zeith's blood ran cold. "You kept it? After everything?" Jackson's eyes gleamed. "Relax. It's contained for now." Zeith stared, dread creeping in. The humans held the line, but Jackson's greed might just tear it open again. That's it for this cosmic ride on Sci-Fi Space. Zeith thought he'd save the day, but Jackson's little souvenir might just doom us all. What do you think happens next? Drop your theories in the comments below, and if you love this HFY twist, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got more galaxy-shaking stories coming your way. See you in the next one, Space Explorers.